Ben Bailey Smith, better known by his stage name Doc Brown, is an English rapper, comedian, actor, screenwriter and voiceover artist. He currently plays DS Joe Hawkins in the TV series Law & Order, UK. Early and personal life. Doc Brown was born Ben Harvey Smith, son of a Jamaican immigrant, Yvonne Bailey, and an Englishman, Harvey Smith, 30 years his wife's senior. Raised in the Willesden area of northwest London, Smith is the younger brother of novelist and essayist Zadie Smith. Smith attended Hampstead School and Mallory's Junior School along with his sister, but was often seen in his sister's shadow. Upon leaving school, Smith decided he would become a rapper and follow a musical career. Music = early work = Doc Brown began his musical career in 2000 as a battle rapper, competing in live events such as the now-defunct Mudlumps, an infamously tough gig based at the Dingwalls nightclub in Camden Lock where amongst others he battled before losing to fellow UK rapper Sway. Smith became a recurring battle champion at the fledgling competition Jump Off in 2003, when the now international event was housed underneath Yo! Sushi on Poland Street in London's Soho, moving to the Swiss Centre in Leicester Square. The following year, Smith's growing reputation as a personality of the underground scene made him the host of a monthly event at his friend's record shop Deal Real on Great Marlborough Court off Carnaby Street in the West End. Deal Real Records The night was loosely named a Euro Friday Night Live Euro and initially acted as a platform for aspiring young artists from the UK to perform at an open mic, hosted by Smith. In an interview from 2006, Smith stated he provided a Euro light relief mixed with an authority necessary to marshal what was always a pretty raucous night. The night was also notable for being the venue where Smith discovered a 16-year-old Loki, whom he promptly featured on his first breakout single Donny's Lament, and who went on to be one of the most respected political rappers in the UK and internationally. The popularity of the monthly event soared and soon, Deal Real was attracting hip-hop celebrities from the US, performing in the store to promote their own European tours. The first to perform were the Jungle Brothers. Others included Pete Rock and CL Smooth, Slick Rick, GZA, The Black Eyed Peas, Rhymefist, Pharoah Monch, Canibus and Say Low, as well as a host of DJs including Mark Ronson. It was in the shop that Smith met Ronson for the first time, caught in an impromptu rap battle with Chicago rapper Rhymefist, whom Smith admitted beat him on his home turf for Euro. However, Ronson recalled Smith unregistered trademark's ability to please a crowd with both good humor and a level of self-deprecation often unusual to the rap genre, and invited him to join a live setup that would form the basis of Ronson unregistered trademark's second studio album version. The first gig Smith performed with Ronson was at the Fabric nightclub in the Barbican area of East Central London. The lineup consisted of Ronson on guitar, Daniel Merriweather, Amy Winehouse and Beverly Toya on vocals, former Jamiroquai bassist Stuart Zender and the Scottish brass section the Haggis Horns. Smith continued to tour with the band until spring 2007, rapping on stage alongside Lily Allen on the Kaiser Chiefs cover Oh My God, providing the Ostface Killer vocals for the song We, and performing his own lyrics on the instrumental cover of Kasabian's LSF. Studio releases The first breakthrough record and Smith unregistered trademark's biggest hit to date was a track entitled A Donny unregistered trademark's Lament Euro, better known as the A Mad World remix due to its extensive sampling of that unregistered trademark's Christmas number 1 A Mad World, performed by Gary Jules, originally by Tears for Fears. Smith unregistered trademark's version is notable for a number of reasons. Firstly, its sample led to legal issues with the label Sanctuary, who did not sanction the remix, despite Smith unregistered trademark's appeal to them. Smith was therefore unable to recoup any money whatsoever despite the popularity of his version. Secondly, the song had a level of mainstream airplay unusual for UK rap at the time, being championed by Joe Wiley and Jonathan Ross among others. Some commentators have argued that the song helped raise awareness of the genre as a whole and earmarked a new wave of British rap artists. Thirdly, the song provided a cameo to a 16-year-old rapper named Loki, who today is cited as one of the most politically influential rappers in the UK, Europe and particularly the Middle East, where his tireless campaigning for Palestinian rights amongst others has been lauded by many. On the back of the track's small success, Smith released 3 full-length offerings, Citizen Smith Volume 1, The Document and Citizen Smith Volume 2. It was during his work with the producer Mark Ronson that he was inspired to create the album Another Way, which features no samples and mostly live studio music. Having moved into stand-up, then television and film, the album is as yet unreleased and has built a cult status among fans, many of whom have dubbed Another Way the farewell album. In July 2011, a short film was released to accompany the song Oe Blight a song from the unreleased album. The film features an interview with Smith at the end credits, in which he describes the film as an open project for young people to interpret his lyrics visually. The film was directed by photographer Quayne Lestrade and shot with the aid of various young people as part of a lottery-funded youth project. Comedy. Late in 2007, a chance phone call from former BBC Radio 1 host and comedy writer Danny Robbins, for whom Smith had previously written some spoof music, led to Smith working as a script consultant on Robbins' unregistered trademark BBC Radio 4 sitcom Oe Would I unregistered trademark S Rare Records, a vehicle for veteran UK comedian Lenny Henry. This eventually led to walk-on roles and more editing and writing work on other Radio 4 comedy shows, including Music Therapy, and Look Away Now. Encouraged by producers at the BBC, Smith attended an BBC industry gig in January 2008 at a small venue in London, the unregistered trademark S Great Portland Street named The Albany, where he performed a comic song and told an anecdote regarding being the first rapper to work for Radio 4. By his own admissions in an interview from 2009, Smith claimed he ran out of things to say and called for the audience to offer words, names and places, with which he improvised a comic rap. According to Smith, the venue managers were impressed and invited him to perform a short set at a late-night variety show named Oe Spank. Smith then entered a national talent competition for comedians called Oe So You Think You're unregistered trademark Funny? And his third ever stand-up gig was in the first round of the competition in spring 2008 at the Hobgoblin pub in Forest Hill, southeast London. Smith eventually made the last 8 at the grand final in Edinburgh that August, an event in which by his own admission he froze up, delivering what he saw as a disappointing performance. Regardless, the performance led to interest from bookers, and Smith began a new incarnation as a professional comedian in October 2008. Since then, he has performed at the prestigious Tartan Ribbon event at the Edinburgh Festival, debuted his own one-man show Oe Infamous which sold out its run at both the Pleasance Theatre, Edinburgh and London unregistered trademark Soho Theatre. He also gave a one-off performance of Infamous at the Elgar Rooms in the Royal Albert Hall in March 2011. In April 2011, Smith was invited to take the show to the Melbourne International Festival for 1 month. Film and television. As an actor, he has played roles in the acclaimed BBC series Rev, and Miranda, as well as Channel 4 unregistered trademark The In-Betweeners. Smith also provided voices for the characters Budge and Cogs on the cult BBC series Big Babies, for which he also sang the theme tune. In film, he has played a role in Ben Miller unregistered trademark Huge, as well as a co-starring role in the thriller Other Side of the Game. Smith is also credited as a songwriter on the Joe Cornish-directed film Attack the Block. The character Hi-Hats is often seen and heard playing songs he has recorded. These were written and recorded by Smith and revoiced by the actor Jermaine Hunter. Smith created a 13-part teen comedy drama for the BBC called 4 O'Clock Club, on which he is also the co-writer and co-musical director. Smith runs his own production company named Bust A Good Limited, which whilst focusing on television and film has also re-released the black catalogue of his music. Most recently, he has delved deeper into dramatic acting, starring in the Frank Spotnitz television show Hunted, a thriller for Cinemax. Smith then went on to shoot an episode of Midsomer Murders, and in 2014, he played the role of DS Joe Hawkins in the final series of ITV's Law & Order, UK. Production. As of May 2014, Brown was the producer of the Football Ramble Live. He is a supporter of Crystal Palace Football Club. Discography. Filmography. References. External links. Official website, Doc Brown at the Internet Movie Database, Doc Brown at AllMusic.